All right, I started back in '88 or '89 was the first time I helped with the festival.
Why?
Why? Knights of Columbus got me into this. They did a lot for the festival back in those days. And anyways, we were building the sign that's in front of the school, the brick sign, and then the guy said, geez, you're a good worker, why don't you come down and help us with the festival? So, like a fool, that's where I went. But anyways, back in those days, we actually built the tents ourselves. So we didn't have a tent company. They came in with just one person, and then we built the tents. We came in like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So all the guys from the Knights of Columbus and from the church would come in there, and we put this tent up, and then the CCW, they made sandwiches, and then they brought the beer that we had afterwards, and that's kind of how it all started. I don't remember who was really ahead of the festival at the time. It just kind of seemed like Father Mike was running the show when we were there putting up the tents and stuff. So, and we built all these food booths, which weighed about 500 pounds at the time, which were made out of plywood and hinges. And anyway, so we would do that the next day usually, and built all that stuff. But that's kind of how I got started, and kind of worked my way up the ranks, I guess.
So prior to starting volunteering with the festival, did you bring your family? Had you been attending the festival?
No, that was the first years, probably in '88. It was probably the first time that I went to the festival.
When you started working?
Right, and then I think the next year, the Knights of Columbus decided they'd have something special, so we had a French fry booth, and that was my job to run that. And so I bought a couple of deep fryers, and we cooked French fries. And,
Wow.
yeah, so a long time ago.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's great.
How about you, Judy?
Well, I started probably about 7 years ago, and when we moved here, I heard about this festival, and my daughter was in elementary school, and so I said, well, I can't do anything during the weekend, but I certainly could help set up, because then she was at school, and I was still working in California back and forth too, and so I said, I can do this Wednesday and Thursday setup, and that's when I met Rick and all these old guys who were colorblind, and all of the booths that we were using at the time, they had these colored dots on them, and nobody could see which one was red and green except for me. And Rick's daughter Sarah and I were the only females that were with this group of older men.
Elderly men, yes.
Older men, and so it was so funny because I said, well, come on you guys, like just put the red ones together and put the green ones together, and they're like, we can't see those. so then I organized it, and I wrote green, red on all the bars, and I helped with all the setup, and then I had never gone to the festival during the day. I had only gone like after that. Then I went like Friday night, and we took our daughter, and we were there, and we had other things we were doing on the weekend, and so it was fun and stuff. And then about 5 years ago, Father Tony said, I need to talk to you about the festival. And I said, oh, are those old guys complaining about my organization? And he said, nope, you've been promoted.
Whether you want to or not.
Exactly. So that's how I got to work with the festival. I don't know, it's a ton of work. It's all year, believe it or not. And it's a ton of work. It's a lot of organization, a lot of minding all of the different moving pieces, and but it is very I don't know, it's cool to put this whole big thing together for the parish, and to have the whole community come together and really have fun. And I mean, I see little kids who are now big kids, they're still here, and I would see them and say, oh, you're here, and they're like, of course, we never miss the festival, it's just great. So it's those kinds of things that make it really fun, and just it's a really cool party.
Well, I think Judy and I both have run businesses before, so that kind of helps us along with our,
Yeah,
you know, what we do here.
definitely.
And we're pretty good judges of people, so that makes it kind of easy too sometimes to make sure we're not getting in trouble with some different companies or whatever, but
And that we fundraise rather than just spend money.
right, true. Father doesn't care really how much money we raise, but we do.
Yeah.
So that's kind of our goal, to, you know, to bring in a good amount of money for the church. But, and for me, why am I doing this? You know, it was kind of a family thing at first, you know, for the grandkids and whatever, but, and it still really is. You know, we still have the grandkids come in, it's a big deal. It's Papa's Festival.
Yes.
It's not the Incredible Festival, it's Papa's Festival. But, no, we enjoy it. We have a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but it's rewarding on the end. We go to the grocery store 3 days later, everybody says how good of a time they had at the festival 3 days later. They're still talking, so I guess we do something right here. So, well, volunteers is always tough. But technically, I was thinking about the past festivals, like when I first started, we always did them in July. We want to talk about a hard time getting people to come in July, you know, then we changed it to September, which was a really good idea, and that was, I think that was Bob Blake was in on that when we switched that around even at the time. So, but Bob, he had a lot to do with the festival the way it is today, you know, for how we work it and things that we do is still a lot from Bob. The volunteers are, you know, very important for us. So I think we had about 160 that signed up roughly in there this year, and besides all of us that don't sign up. So I suppose we had 200 for sure, maybe 210 to run this. So, but
It's amazing how many people it really takes to put this whole thing together and keep it going. It's remarkable, and I agree. Volunteers are a key, important factor of it, and you know, since it's so key, we struggle with it sometimes, but it's so critical that we really focus on it too.
Right.
Well, I think we made things easier with the food.
Right.
The food used to be such a job. You know, the Christensens, back when I first started, the Christensens ran the procurement and got all the stuff from the stores and stuff. That was a big job because we had all the food booths, did all the food ourselves. It's easier this way, definitely, the way we're doing it now with the restaurants coming in. Maybe it's not as much money, but it's sure a lot easier on us too. So
I like that we split the tents and have a separate stage, because the sound issues that used to be there are not so much anymore. It used to echo in the food tent so badly that my first year that I was just there on a Friday night, we could hardly even hear each other, and so we went outside to have our hamburgers or whatever we ate that day because it was so loud in there.
So loud.
Yeah. They're a really good carnival group too.
and we have entertainment just about the whole entire weekend. You know,
24
not
and a
just
half hours.
24 and a half hours. Right?
That's right. So
And I think we really try to involve the whole community, all of West Tonka, instead of, it's not just for our parish. And that makes it more fun too, because, you know, we, in our day-to-day lives, we don't only know people from our parish, we know people from our community. And this year it was really neat because we met some people from various areas all over the place, like
Arden Hills, I think they came from, right, or something.
Anoka. Somebody came from Anoka.
Yes.
They were driving around on their motorcycle and they saw our signs and said, "We have to check this place out." And with social media now, that has really helped us get the word out to everybody. And so if they're available, they can come.
And this year we had the greeters. That was kind of special.
Yeah.
People came in, and you know, it's kind of nice when you come to a new place if you've never been here before, and
Exactly.
you get somebody at the door welcoming you. So that was a pretty good deal.
And I think the greeters enjoyed doing it.
I think so
Oh,
too.
good.
It was a good group.
Yeah, I think so too.
A way to keep it homey while, you know, Still keep it centered to us, right? Versus just community come and have fun.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, being welcomed. I mean, when you go to a family party, you're welcomed, and so you should be welcomed here too.
Yeah, you're right.
And we had our first outdoor mass this year, which was pretty special.
That was
You know, we
that
had,
was cool.
I think 220 people, I think is what they counted when
Something like that.
we did the mass. So it was pretty neat.
Next year.
I think we should step up our entertainment a little more. Maybe get a little more headliner people. So, you know,
Yeah, that would be good.
and we did our first year really doing sponsors for the festival this year. So that was a good way for us to get some money in so that we can work on our entertainment a little bit more. You know, just have to raise the bar a little bit on that, I think.
Yeah.
I get excited about the new energy coming in from new volunteers and new chair people of different areas and their ideas. And it's like, sure, we've always done this, but now let's try that. And that really helps, and it really keeps it alive and keeps it exciting for people to come back year after year. This year was our 43rd year, and if it was always the same, people would be like, oh, well, we've been there so many times and it's always the same. But that's another thing that's what's different about this festival too, is it is ever changing, and it's fun and exciting.
Well, it keeps it fresh.
Right,
You know, you don't know what you're gonna get.
right, I agree.
It's constantly evolving and changing with the times, and
For sure. And we try some stuff and then it doesn't work, and then we try some other stuff and it's like, wow, that was awesome. Let's do that new and improved type of thing again next year. So,
yeah.
wow.
So you're looking forward to next year?
Oh yeah, 44.
Lucky 40.
Lucky 44.